So y'all was really acting crazy in the comments. Y'all still acting crazy. Well, I figured it's not really y'all. It's like people who don't. It's because of the way that damn video is titled. And it's random people who aren't regulars, probably not, probably not subscribers. This man called me the comments calling people black cows, black bitches, then calling the white people KKK motherfuckers. Y'all are crazy. I forget how crazy the comment sections be because I don't have Facebook anymore, and the replies, they don't give you enough room on Twitter to really step in your shit, to step in some shit. They don't really give you enough room to step in some shit. You understand what I'm saying? You got enough room to say some ignorant ass shit and get your ass blocked and removed and banned from the channel, honey. I don't have no problem with people disagreeing, but we're not calling people names and stuff. That's crazy. That man, I should have took a screenshot of it so I could show you. I was like, oh no. They had a differing opinion, but then I noticed that they were going through every single comment. So here's my final thing about the man and the little girl. So apparently we're gonna say that the little girl is between 11 and 13. My first question was, we're all protective of these children, right? We are supposed to be protecting these children. We understand that. But I have a question. When you were in the 6th grade, when you were in elementary school, did your mother allow you to go out to the mall by yourself? And then you're at the mall fighting? And apparently, reports are saying, I was on the Reddit actual feed, where someone said that he was trying to break up, like the kids were fighting, and he was trying to break up the fight, and the kids turned on his ass. It's like, that's why people say, like, okay, see, you want me to help kids and stuff like that, but they turn on you, and now I gotta punch the little girl in the face. Now, here's the thing. Both of them are at fault. She's not without fault because she's a child. She's not. She ran up on that man twice. So your negative action is going to probably, more than likely, have a negative consequence. Consequence she had was she got punched in the face with a closed fist by a grown-ass man. He was wrong, period. His consequence is that he got arrested, and more than likely, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to that man. He got arrested. We don't know if the charges will be dropped or whatever. He hasn't even gone to court yet. But they were both wrong. The little girl was wrong and the man was wrong. The little girl is not without fault just because she is a child. Okay? Both of them exhibited a extreme lack of self-control. She needs 12-year-olds, 11, 12, 13-year-olds need to be taught self-control. Otherwise, they are going to turn into adults who lack self-control. As you can see, this man is a exhibit of that. Someone who lacks self-control. Now, you're surrounded by a bunch of kids who are now coming at you aggressively in a hostile behavior. Yes, was his reaction, extreme? Yeah, you lack self-control. Both of them lack self-control, and both of them had immediate consequences for their negative actions. Both of them. I don't think it was a race thing. I see the replies and the comments becoming very racial. She looked bigger than she was. You know how they always do us. We look bigger than we are all of a sudden. We look older than we are. It doesn't matter had that been a grown-ass woman. Both of their actions were wrong. And that is my final word on it. That's it. So it smells like I'm not done. I'm not done. I have some more thoughts. I'm just thinking out loud. I should have just let the video record. Here's the thing. If I was a parent of that child, now I'm going to talk as a parent to the child. And little Tina, I want to talk to you about what happened at the mall today. First, I want to tell you I'm sorry that you had this experience at such a young age to be actually physically assaulted by somebody. The adult in that situation should have maintained some self-control and thought about his actions before acting on them. And I'm sorry that this happened to you. But now I want to talk to you about self-control as a child. And when you lack self-control, how you can grow up and end up like that man who lacks self-control. Children who lack self-control grow up to be adults who lack self-control. We're not going to absolve children of their bad behavior. We're not going to tell them there's not a natural consequence for your behavior. This is about choices and consequences. This is a perfect conversation for her parents to have with her about choices and consequence of those choices. Yes, we are sorry that this happened to this little girl, but at the same time, what the fuck? You need some self-control. And furthermore, and then in a few days, I'm going to talk to you about who were you at the mall fighting. See, what's going to happen is the lack of self-control is going to translate into your life. Into your adult life, if you don't take care of it and practice working on it. Another thing we need to talk to the little girl about is jumping up in men's faces. Jumping up in a boy's face at school. I would tell her daughter, Tina, I'm just going to name her Tina. Another thing I want to talk to you about in addition to self-control is why the hell did you jump up in somebody's face, an adult at that? The way that you jumped up in that man's face, you cannot do that to anybody because as you can see, their reaction was that. That man could have killed you with one hit. He could have knocked your jaw out of socket. He could have gave you a concussion. When you fell down, you could have gotten a concussion. And you didn't use good judgment. And when you don't use good judgment and you make a choice, the consequence is going to show. And you cannot be out here in the streets fighting. You cannot be in the streets getting in adults' faces because you don't know that adult. He could have pulled a gun out and killed you and all your friends. You don't know what that man's state of mind was. She needs a conversation to be had about self-control. And that's it. Because if you don't, you're going to grow into that man. That's what you're going to end up like. You're going to end up just like that man. She's not without fault. She's not without fault. But the lack of intelligence to respond, what would make you jump up in a man's face? A grown man, not a little boy, not a tall boy, but a grown man's face. What would make you do that? What would make you antagonize a grown person as a child? I'm not with that stay in a child's place, but I'm about respect. If he wasn't respecting you, you don't have to respect him. I don't give a fuck how old he is. If they don't respect you, you don't respect them. I don't care. But what you're going to do is start practicing self-control and learning how to resolve conflict different because you look like you was in a fight. And I don't know how this man got involved, and I'm sorry that he hit you. But you need to learn some self-control because he's not going to be the only one hitting you if you continue to lack self-control. That's what I would have said to her. And what I would have said to him is, motherfucker, you crazy as hell. You need to understand you should have used better judgment. Look, personally, to me, if anybody is running towards me with a fist like this, I'm going to meet them with a fist. Don't act like kids don't be killing adults out here, okay? So I don't know what you running towards me for with your fist balled up, but I'm going to meet you with a fist, young lady, little girl. Little girl, not young lady, but little girl. So no, you are not without fault, little girl. You need to practice self-control because if not, you're going to grow up to be an adult who lacks self-control. And the consequences of an adult lacking self-control are far more worse than a child who lacks self-control. So you need to fix it now. That's my mama spiel. My mama, what is it called? Advice. I'm telling you, kids who lack self-control grow up to be adults who lack self-control. And if she don't get that shit, if her parents don't get that shit controlled now, what were you doing at the fucking mall? 11 years old, 12 years old, but with no adults or no older kids or something. All them damn kids, And you know, that's just what it is. That's the conversation that we would have. So that's my final thoughts on the situation. I don't think I'm gonna come back anymore, but I was just thinking like, yeah, a conversation needs to be had with that little girl. We need to have a conversation with that little girl. Choices and consequences. That's what we're talking about. And self-control. Self-control. Otherwise, you're gonna grow up to be an adult who lacks self-control. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. Peace.